So I've been recording shows for quite a few years now, and I have never done a video actually explaining or even showing what it takes to actually become a vendor. That is something that actually does interest me, and that is something that I want to show. You know, obviously I want to learn, but I also want to show. And thanks to my friends from Badgerland Reptile Rescue, I am going to be able to do that. I was invited to actually record, you know, for them as they set up, but to be honest, I realized that I was gonna be more in the way, so I decided to just do a couple of quick shots, and then I'm gonna let actually Bill take over, and I'm gonna let him explain to you, and to me, at what exactly it takes, you know, to actually be a vendor.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I volunteer with Badgerland Reptile Rescue in Kenosha, Wisconsin. I'm on the boards with Badgerland.
So what exactly do you guys have to bring? What is your notes or checklist in order to become or be a
Sorry.
Phil.
I'm putting that in the video.
Okay, well, we have a pretty big checklist. We kind of try to condense it as much as possible, but we have a huge tub filled with just random supplies like hand sanitizer, tape, scissors, any random things that you would need. Yeah, and we have our banner here. It's a pretty nice banner. And then we have like our tablecloths that we put in there. We bring a handful of different enclosures to keep our ambassador animals in so people can come and look at them. We have, what else do we bring? We actually bring enclosures and different supplies that we can sell, and we'll use that money that all goes towards Badgerland and the animals. What else do we bring? We bring plants as well. Melanie, one of our board members, she is our plant lady. She's our go-to gal. We have our care sheets. We wrote those out pretty well for you guys, made it as simplified as possible. We also have different feeder sheets. And we also, from Morph Market, they gave us some of these stickers that are for an emergency. You can fill it for your animals in case there's a fire, emergency at your house. We have those on deck all the time.
Now, obviously, they do not sell animals. You know, they work only with animals that need rescue, but it's still pretty much the same. You will always simply get, you know, just a table with nothing. So obviously, if you want people to go to your table, you need to make it look good. And well, let's see what Bill has to say.
My name is Bill Stewart. I am here at Sewerfest with Badgerland Reptile Rescue. My wife opened Badgerland Reptile Rescue in 2021. I'm also here representing the Wisconsin Herp Association, which was formerly the Madison Area Herp Society. I am a USARC. I made myself a USARC rep. Phil and Vanessa have to approve it still, but I kind of represent USARC at our local shows and, you know, explain to the public what USARC is and what we do. And I own WPS Reptiles, where I travel and do educational events, birthday parties and stuff in southeast Wisconsin. And I work part-time at Zilla as a consultant for the Zilla brand. But I don't know why I said all that, because I'm literally just here at Sewerfest for Badgerland.
What exactly made you become a vendor?
I was in the reptile hobby back when I was a kid. I started keeping lizards when I was a teenager, and I started keeping snakes when I was younger. I never bred them, but I was researching it. I got out of the hobby for about 10 years while I was married, and then when I went through a divorce, I got back into the hobby again. And I had no idea that there was this stuff. I was buying animals on Craigslist and going to the pet shop, and then one of my friends said, "Have you ever been to Sewerfest?" I had no idea what it was. And my first Sewerfest, I think, was 2009 or 2010. And I had looked like, what an cool environment. Reptile nerds, people that are breeding them, people that are raising them. I saw species of animals I'd never seen in real life. I've only seen pictures of. And I was just blown away by it. And I love this smaller venue. I like the intimacy of the show. I think it's, you know, everyone kind of gets along with each other and supports each other. I started vending in 2012, maybe 2013. I was breeding a lot of different gecko species at the time. And then I just shifted to doing the education stuff here. So working with Badgerland and the Madison Herp Society. I love vending here though. This is a really awesome show.
What is your favorite part about vending?
My favorite part about vending is this. I get all like corny about this, but it really is hanging out with all the other vendors. You know, no matter how big the show, whether it's Tinley or Schaumburg or you know, a smaller local show like Stewart Fest, everyone knows everybody. It's like family. We all get along. We all hang out with each other. There's not a lot of competition or mean spirits. You know, people aren't like, hey, buy my stuff instead of their stuff. Everyone is working together, so we're all successful. I love seeing the variety. You know, even though it's a smaller show, there's a lot of variety of animals here. And my favorite part of the hobby right now has been just educating the general public and talking to not reptile people about how awesome these animals are and getting kids excited about the hobby. That's my favorite part of being at these shows.
What is the least favorite part?
So, my least favorite part is sometimes having to budget myself and not spend thousands of dollars on things I want. And I think the hardest part is I'm like a routine kind of a dude. I wake up at a certain time, I take a certain amount of time to get ready, I go to work, I have coffee at a certain time, and just having to wake up early and lift stuff and load up a car, and that's the hardest part, but that's nothing. I'm whining right at this point. It's the hardest part is just having to wake up early to come here, but that's not even hard. So I'm just sniveling right now. Poor me, I didn't sleep till 9. Other than that, no, there's no worst part.
One last question. What is a random advice that you give somebody that wants to become a vendor?
That wants to become a vendor?
Yeah, that wants to become a vendor.
Wow, that's an awesome question. Come to the show, walk around the show, and introduce yourself to vendors. Meet vendors, greet vendors. If there's a species you're working with, mingle with and get to know the other vendors that are working with the same species or similar species in the same genus, and make yourself known that way. Get to know Shane, Ager, I don't know how to pronounce Shane's last name. I've known him for 12 years. Get to know Shane and get on that wait list, because I think there's a wait list to be a vendor here. But get to know the vendors, meet people. I'm talking so much, you're gonna have to edit my stuff, man.
Oh no, perfect.
Get to know people and know what you're doing. You know, make sure you have the answers to the questions. People will ask you random questions about your animals that you might not have ever thought of. Know what you're doing. Know your animals really well, and make sure you're preaching to people that they need to research what they're getting before they get it. I always say that. But that was a good question. Get to know people. Become part of the family. Introduce yourself.
Awesome. All right, thank you, Bill.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
I'm Wally from Supreme Gecko. I've been keeping animals for about 20-25 years. I started with leopard geckos, moved to crested geckos. Now I keep rare geckos as well. We keep isopods. The business has grown and grown to the point where we have a store on the internet. We do these reptile shows and I just love it. Love talking to people about geckos. Oh my gosh, that's a tough question because I started going to reptile shows looking for animals and started talking to the vendors and just loved how they treated customers. So I enjoyed the fact that they were talking about what their passions were. So I thought I have to do the same thing. And we started keeping geckos, and obviously we started breeding the animals, and that created excess. And I wanted more money to buy more geckos. That's really the reason right there. My favorite part about vending, there's so many favorite parts. There really is. I think my favorite part of everything is introducing new families to reptiles. Families that have never even touched an animal, never seen a reptile, and to have the kids and mom and dad actually hold reptiles like a crested gecko for the very first time and see the smiles on their face. I tell you what, the biggest thrill I ever get at a reptile show is to see the kids come up to the table, want to hold the animals. Mom and dad take that step back, but after the kids hold them, mom and dad is actually holding a reptile too. That's thrilling to me, and it always will be. Because there's so many wonderful animals here, it's always difficult not taking everything home with me at the end of the show. So I have to use a lot of restraint not buying everything. Luckily, Nanette's always with me at these shows, so she kind of keeps me in control. If you're looking at becoming a vendor at a reptile show, the very first thing that you should be doing is going to reptile shows and talking to the other vendors. Talk to the vendors. Get a feel for what they're doing. Find the vendors that you like talking to that will talk to you about their animals and get that passion and the things that they're doing the right way. Ask them questions. Ask them questions about not just their animals, but about doing the shows as well. Take notes. Take pictures. Take your phone and take pictures and go home that day and say, I like what this vendor did. And maybe if you see something that you don't like at the Supreme Gecko table, say, I'm not going to do it like Supreme Gecko. Seriously, learn every single time. In that very first reptile show that you do, don't worry about the money. Go home and say, here's how I can improve for the next show. As long as you're improving, as long as you're learning, you're going to do good at reptile shows.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Heidi with Zeno Gecko Morphs. I've been breeding leopard geckos for going on 10 seasons. I also work with African fantails and leopard gecko subspecies, fuscus and hardwicky.
Right. Okay, Heidi. So what made you decide to become a vendor in a reptile show?
I always loved going to the shows to look around. I got some of my animals from these shows, and it's just a great way to like connect more with the community. And the face-to-face is, to me, more important than like an online presence.
What is your favorite part about vending?
Getting to meet people that are going to be potential homes for the geckos for sure. This way you get a feel for them a lot. Like I said, a lot more one-on-one. They can ask questions, and then you build kind of like a little bond with them, and then so down the line you'll get updates and everything like that. So I prefer the in-person experience.
Cool. All right. So now, what is your least favorite part about vending?
Oh man, I don't even know.
It has to be something. Waking up super early or spending the day
probably
before?
Sometimes the distance, like the travel time. Getting here is usually okay. I try not to travel too much, but yeah, probably the distance of certain shows. There's many shows I can't go to because of the distance. I just don't have the time frame to do that. But I mean, some shows are slow, but you never really know how it's going to be. But they're always fun, regardless.
All right. Now, last question. Do you have random advice for somebody that wants to become a vendor?
Just make sure to like stand out. Make sure you're standing up, talking to people, engaging, showing them what you've got. Even if there's other vendors with the same stuff as you, there's a few other vendors with leopard geckos, but mine stand apart just because I work with different projects and morph genetics. The way I take care of them is a little bit different, and it just so we each have something to offer. So just make sure like you're knowledgeable about what you have and that you have a passion for it, because if you don't, they can tell that. So if you're just sitting there staring at your phone instead of engaging, or if they have questions and you don't know how to answer them, kind of like I do with interviews. But yeah, just being able to feel comfortable and talking about it with leopard geckos, they can talk about it all day long.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But these come in at a much better price point because those will work out. So I'm Mr. Crawlings. I write children's books. I produce a premium insect gut load, which has found its way into a lot of other diets for our animals, whether it's tortoises and iguanas as a salad dressing, or but it's really nice because it's all natural without any preservatives and stuff like that. But I love animals. I always have. I was a little kid kicking over rocks and looking for creepy crawlies, hence the Mr. Crawlings name. And it's just been a joy and a passion of mine to share that with everybody else and just educate other kids to get into the creepy crawly world.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So what made you decide to become a vendor in a reptile show?
So a lot of the reason that I wanted to become a vendor was to show people the correlation we have between these creepy crawly animals. A lot of people look at snakes and spiders as things that are really foreign to us because they don't look similar to us, right? And we can't relate to them like we can maybe cats and dogs, but we have a lot of really similar features. There's some species of tarantulas that are excellent mothers. Snakes, for example, have been found through all of human history in almost every religion and through all of mankind. And so I try to draw these parallels with people, and I want to try to encourage new schools of thought so that we can get more people into the hobby, including the way we offer diets, the way we enrich these animals' lives, and the enclosures that we provide for them.
All right, so what is your favorite part about vending?
My favorite part of vending is meeting everybody. Just running into my friends. We have a really awesome hobby that all the vendors are friends. We're basically like family. A lot of the people that come here to the show, I've seen 6, 7, 8, 9 times. So they're like friends. They're like family, and I love it. So coming to the shows, meeting everybody, saying hi, and hugs and autographing books and all that stuff. That's my absolute favorite thing.
There you go. So what is your least favorite part?
My least favorite part is the setup rush. So I think you're going to get that unanimously across the board. There's the thing that I call the setup rush. So it's this high energy, quick, got to get it done. You want to set up a really nice presentation for everybody to see. You want to display yourself properly and have it well lit. And you're usually doing that down to the wire and doing the fine tuning and stuff like that. So when people come in and see you, you represent yourself to the best of your abilities, and that takes a lot.
All right, one last question.
Sure.
Do you have a random advice for somebody that wants to become a vendor?
I think with, like I said, we have a lot of people that have been vendors for a really long time, and I think if you want to get into vending at shows, at expos, make sure it's something that you love, that you enjoy, that you're passionate about. Because there's going to be days that are slow, where you may not make a lot of money. There's going to be days where you do very, very well for yourself. But at the end of the day, if you're doing what you love, like the old expression says, you'll never work a day in your life. And you can count on that, absolutely. Awesome. Remember, if you guys keep it crawling. I'll see you next time.
Hey you guys, this is Bill again. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you guys learned something about what it would take to be a vendor at one of these shows, about how to get involved with vending. Hope you enjoyed the video.
Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. He's too tall. I'll see you on the next one.
Like and subscribe.
He's too tall.